this afternoon. President's Press Secretary Jainul Abidin briefed reporters after the meeting. Welcoming the Saudi delegation, the President hoped that this high-level visit between the two countries would play a significant role to enhance bilateral ties. Mentioning the meeting between the King of Saudi Arabia, Faisal bin Abdulaziz Al Saud, with Father of the Nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, during NAM summit held in Algiers in 1973, the President said the relationship with Bangladesh developed since then. The President added that subsequently the recent visit of Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia has opened a new window of opportunity. President Abdul Hamid hoped that socio-economic development of Bangladesh will be increased, mentioning that Bangladesh has bright possibility in some sectors. They stress on proper marketing and communication to use those potential. Prime Minister's advisor Salman F. Rahman, Secretary of the President's Office Shampot Burwa, Military Secretary Major General Sarwar Hussain and Secretary concerned were present. Bangladesh and Saudi Arabia have signed 6 instruments, including 2 agreements for the development of various sectors of Bangladesh, including power and industrial sector. The instruments were signed in presence of Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina at a ceremony at her office in the capital today. Concerned senior officials from both sides inked the deals for their respective countries. Among the instruments, 2 are agreements and 4 memorandum of understanding (MOU) to strengthen cooperation on power, industry and other sectors for the mutual benefits of the 2 countries. The deals include an agreement on generation of 100 megawatt solar ICP at Feni, an agreement on manufacturing transformer and electricity device, MOU on setting up of urea formaldehyde 85 plant, MOU on establishing Saudi-Bangladesh Institute of Biomedical Engineering and Technology, and MOU on manufacturing cables. Finance Minister, Foreign Minister, Planning Minister, Commerce Minister, Prime Minister's advisor on power were present on Bangladesh side, while Commerce and Investment Minister Dr. Majid bin Abdullah Al Kasaibi and Economy and Planning Minister Mohammed bin Mazid Al Tawaijri were present for Saudi Arabia's side. Earlier visiting Saudi Trade and Investment Minister Dr. Majid bin Abdullah Al Kasaibi and Economy and Planning Minister Mohammed bin Mazid Al Tawaijri called on Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. During the call-on, they said Saudi King Salman bin Abdulaziz Al Saud has expressed keenness to strengthen economic relation with his country, with Bangladesh, for the mutual benefits. After the call-on, Press Secretary to the Prime Minister, Ihsanul Karim, briefed the newsmen. The 2 ministers highly praised the progress of Bangladesh under dynamic leadership of the Prime Minister, saying Sheikh Hasina should be proud of herself and her team for achieving a stunning development of Bangladesh. They highly appreciated the government for its success in poverty reduction and women empowerment, said what they have seen is just beyond their expectation. Welcoming 2 Saudi ministers, the Prime Minister conveyed her regards to the Saudi King and the Crown Prince. Sheikh Hasina said her government has set up special economic zones where the government is giving lands to various companies so that they can establish their industries according to their choice. In this regard, the Prime Minister asked the Saudi entrepreneurs to invest in the special economic zones for the mutual benefits.
Saudi Arabia wants to open up a new chapter of investments in different development sectors of Bangladesh, including power, health, tourism, and trade and commerce. Saudi Minister for Commerce and Investment, Majid bin Abdullah Al Usaibi, revealed information at a meeting titled Bangladesh-Saudi Arabia Investment Cooperation at Hotel Intercontinental in Dhaka today. He led the 52-member Saudi delegation at the meeting. The visiting Saudi minister considers Bangladesh as a perfect destination for Saudi investment among the South Asian countries. Prime Minister's Private Industries and Investment Affairs Advisor Salman F. Rahman presented the keynote paper in the meeting. Finance Minister A.H. Mustafa Kamal, Planning Minister M.A. Mannan, Foreign Minister A.K. Abdul Momen, Commerce Minister Tipu Munshi, Railways Minister Nurul Islam Shujan, State Minister Power, Energy and Mineral Resources Nasrul Hamid, State Minister Religious Affairs Sheikh Muhammad Abdullah, Deputy Minister of Water Resources Enamul Haq Shamim, SDG Affairs Chief Coordinator Abul Kalam Azad, Prime Minister's Principal Secretary Najibur Rahman, Information Secretary Abdul Malik, and officials of Bangladesh Investment Development Authority spoke at the meeting. Describing economic potential of different sectors, the speakers call upon the Saudi delegation to invest in Bangladesh. Newly appointed 5 envoys presented the credentials to President Mohammad Abdul Hamid at Bongo Bhavan today. Newly appointed Ambassador of Italy to Bangladesh, Enrico Nunziata, presented his credentials to President Mohammad Abdul Hamid at Bongo Bhavan this afternoon. On arrival at Bongo Bhavan, the new envoy was given Guard of Honor by contingent of President Guard Regiment. Welcoming the new envoy, President Abdul Hamid said existing bilateral relations, including trade and investment between Bangladesh and Italy, is excellent. Noting that Bangladesh has a lot of scopes for investment, the President urged the Italian investors to invest in the potential sectors of Bangladesh. President Abdul Hamid hoped that the relations between Bangladesh and Italy would reach a new height in the days to come. During meeting, the new Italian envoy sought all-out cooperation of the President in discharging his duties in Bangladesh. Later, newly appointed High Commissioner of India, Riva Ganguly Das, presented her credentials to President Mohammad Abdul Hamid at Bongo Bhavan. On arrival at Bongo Bhavan, the new envoy was given Guard of Honor by contingent of President Guard Regiment. Welcoming the new envoy, President Abdul Hamid said excellent relations exist between Bangladesh and India. The President expressed his gratefulness to the people and the government of India for their heartfelt support during Liberation War in 1971. Referring to connectivity in road, water, airways between Bangladesh and India, President Abdul Hamid said this has helped to enhance relations between the people of the two neighboring countries and strengthening the bilateral base. During meeting, the Indian envoy sought President's cooperation to discharge her duties. Lauding the socio-economic development of Bangladesh, the envoy assured of standing beside Bangladesh. Later, newly appointed Ambassador of Tanzania to Bangladesh, Baraka Haran Levanda, Ambassador of Azerbaijan, Ashraf Farhad Shekaliev, and Ambassador of Uzbekistan, Farhod Arziev, presented the credentials to President Mohammad Abdul Hamid at Bongo Bhavan. On arrival at Bongo Bhavan, the new envoys were given Guard of Honor separately by contingent of President Guard Regiment. Welcoming the new envoys of Tanzania, Azerbaijan, and Uzbekistan, President Abdul Hamid said the foreign policy attaches importance to bilateral and friendly relations with all. The President expressed hope that the relations of the respective countries with Bangladesh would be strengthened during their assignments in Bangladesh. During meeting, the new envoys of Tanzania, Azerbaijan, and Uzbekistan sought the President's cooperation to discharge their duties. The envoys said they would do everything necessary to increase bilateral cooperation with Bangladesh in the days to come. Foreign Secretary and Secretaries to the President President.
Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina has said historic 7th March speech delivered by Bangabandhu is an invaluable asset of Bengali nation. Appeal of the speech is still remain the same as it was in 1971, she added. Sheikh Hasina said this at the Parliament tonight while speaking at a discussion on historic 7th March speech of Bangabandhu. The leader of the House said mass people started non-cooperation movement across Lebanon, East Pakistan after the historic speech. The non-cooperation movement turned into a war following declaration of independence by Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. Sheikh Hasina said Bangabandhu in his 7th March speech gave every directions for independence of Bangladesh. The Prime Minister said those who banned the 7th March speech after 1975 did not realize the value of the unique and historic speech. She described Bangabandhu's 7th March speech as one of a kind in the world. The historical 7th March speech of Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman contained the full direction to the liberation war. The speakers said this while taking part in the point of order discussion in the Parliament today. Earlier, the sitting of the House resumed in the evening with the Speaker Dr. Shireen Sharmin Chowdhury in the chair. Taking part in the discussion, the speakers told the House that the historical 7th March speech of Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman was the source of inspiration of exploited people of the country. They said, defying red eyes of Pakistani authorities, Bangabandhu's wisdom was reflected through his 7th March speech. The freedom-loving people of the country, imbued with the 7th March speech, took to the streets for an armed struggle. They said Bangabandhu was a far-sighted leader and no leader will be born in the country like him in future. The speakers said the 18-minute 7th March speech of Bangabandhu was the speech of emancipation of the nation, liberation and the turning point of the history. Later, a general discussion was held on Thanksgiving motion on President's speech. Ghana Forum nominated politician Sultan Mahmood Mansoor Ahmed took oath as a member of 11th Jatiya Sangshad this morning. Sultan Mansoor was elected MP from Maulvi Bazar 2 constituency. Speaker Dr. Shireen Sharmin Chowdhury administered the oath of the newly elected parliament member at her office in the parliament today. Deputy Speaker Mohammad Fazle Rabbi Mia, Chief Whip Noor Alam Chowdhury, Whip Iqbal Rahim, Mahbub Ara Begum Guinea and Ghazi Muhammad Shahnawaz were present at the oath-taking program. Senior Secretary of the National Parliament Dr. Jafar Ahmed Khan conducted the oath-taking program. Information Minister Dr. Hassan Mahmood has urged BNP to follow the path of the elected lawmaker of Wakf Front, Sultan Mansoor, and join Parliament. He made this call while speaking at a documentary exhibition program marking the historic 7th March organized by the Department of Films and Publications, DFP, in Dhaka today. Information Secretary Abdul Malik and DFP Director General Mohammad Ishtiaq Hussain spoke on the occasion. Hassan Mahmood told that Bangabandhu's landmark 7th March speech is one of the timeless speeches in the world, which was a great source of inspiration to the freedom-loving people to jump into a war to free the nation from the Pakistani subjugation. He told that this speech is a unique example of how an address aroused an entire nation to jump into the liberation war for attaining independence. Later, Information Secretary visited the video camera of the Department of Films and Publications, which had been used for recording the historic Bangabandhu's 7th March speech in 1971. 16th Council meeting of Armed Forces Medical College was held at Dhaka Cantonment today. Bangladesh Army Chief of Staff General Aziz Ahmed was present in the meeting as the chief guest. The meeting discussed 21st batch MBBS first year admission activities of session 2018-19, initiatives to solve the hostel problem for AFMC female cadets and other issues of Armed Forces Medical College. Other officials of the college were present during the meeting.
The physical state of ailing road transport and bridges Minister Obaidul Qadir, who is undergoing treatment at a Singapore hospital, is improving steadily. Director of Bangladesh Sheikh Mujib Medical University BSMMU, Professor Abu Nasir Rizvi, briefed journalists at Mount Elizabeth Hospital lobby of Singapore after the meeting of the medical board formed for Obaidul Qadir's treatment. Professor Abu Nasir Rizvi told that the mechanical device aortic balloon pump IABP has been removed from Obaidul Qadir's heart, as his heart is working naturally without artificial support. Now, international news. US President Donald Trump has said he would be disappointed if North Korea is confirmed to be rebuilding a rocket launch site. Satellite images published on Wednesday suggest Pyongyang is restoring a site it had pledged to scrap. Work to dismantle the Sohae satellite launch site began last year and was seen as a concession by Pyongyang. Talks between Donald Trump and North Korean leader Kim Jong-un broke down at a summit in Vietnam last week. About 400 Islamic State militants have been captured trying to escape the last bit of land the group holds in Syria, a US-backed militia says. A Syrian Democratic Forces SDF commander said the jihadists were caught overnight as they attempted to slip out of Baghouz with the help of smugglers. Hundreds of others have surrendered and been evacuated from the village, with thousands of civilians in recent days. It comes after US forces and the SDF stepped up their bombardment of Baghouz. Now, news on sports. Bangladesh will face New Zealand in the second test of the three-match series at Wellington tomorrow early in the morning. The match will start at 4 a.m. in the morning Bangladesh Standard Time. Earlier, Bangladesh lost to New Zealand in the first test by an innings and 52 runs and trailing by 1-0 in the series. And now to end the bulletin, a recap of the top stories. Historic 7th March today. Undisputed leader and father of the nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, showed the Bengali nation way to liberation on this day in 1971.
এদেশের মানুষকে মুক্ত করে ছাড়বো ইনশাআল্লাহ। এবারে সংগ্রাম আমাদের সংগ্রাম এবারে সংগ্রাম স্বাধীনতার সংগ্রাম
Historic 7th March speech to remain as inspiration for freedom-loving people across the world, says Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina pays respect at the portrait of Bangabandhu marking historic 7th March. Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina says storage of flammable stuffs will not be allowed in residential areas at Dhaka North City Mayor Atiqul Islam takes oath.
মধ্যে এখানে এই ধরনের দাহ্য পদার্থ থাকতে পারবে না তার জন্য আলাদা জায়গা আমরা খুঁজে দিচ্ছি কতগুলি মানুষের জীবন চলে গেল কাজে এখানে যে যত বাধাই হোক কোনো বাধা কিন্তু আমরা মানব না আমরা এটা নিয়ে যাব
Bangladesh and Saudi Arabia signed 2 agreements and 4 MOUs on Saudi investments in Bangladesh's power industries and other sectors. Oikofront nominated MP Sultan Mohammad Mansoor takes oath. Information Minister Dr. Hassan Mahmood urges the elected BNP MPs to follow Sultan. US President Donald Trump terms North Korea reconstructing rocket launching pad frustrating. And Bangladesh meet New Zealand in the second test in Wellington tomorrow.
And that's all from the newsroom for the moment. Thank you for being with us. Our next bulletin is coming up at 11:30 in Bangla. Until then, Khuda Hafiz.
Khuda Hafiz.